So, here we go.
It was filled with childish frustrations and complexes which the police were searching for James Thomas, believed to
Hello. You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang, a show where we talk about cult cinema and genre film. I think I'm going to land on that as like being the primary intro. My name is Elsie Hines, and I'm here with
Joseph.
I'm
back.
He's back. Feels like it's been forever, but it's only, 2 episodes, that's 2 weeks.
It's a long time.
It's a long time in podcast world. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Got his little dog next to me.
Rock and roll, we got Blossom here in the studio with us. One day we're gonna get Blossom on the mic. I really appreciate that you put Blossom in the podcast logo.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, it was when I only met her like a couple times, so it's a very like rough indication of her.
I mean, you got the basics down. She's long and she's brown.
Little fluffy tail.
Yeah, she's a wiener.
Sleeping on the beanbag.
Indeed, the whole beanbag is hers. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Joseph?
Jackie Chan.
In particular, Police Story 1 and 2, who I believe, both directed by him, as well as starring.
Yeah.
And like everything by him, pretty much. I've wanted to talk about Jackie Chan for a while. In general, I've been wanting to.
He's a master.
Yeah, he is indeed a master of his craft, and it makes sense why he's like when you think of like martial arts, like he is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's starred in like over hundreds of movies at this point.
Dude's a madman. He will absolutely destroy his body, as is indicated by the credits for both of these movies.
Yeah, most of his movies show like the bloopers and like the stunts.
Bloopers, but they're like not funny. They're like, oh my god, really?
He hurt himself so much, especially Police Story 2. It seems like Police Story 2, they like really beat themselves up.
No, yeah, you can see him like bleeding and like getting like medical treatment and stuff, and it's like, oh no, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I'm supposed to react to that.
Yeah, just like, am I supposed to be enjoying this? But no, somehow he's survived. In particular, the injury that he sustained, or the injuries that he sustained at the end of the first Police Story,
God.
which I'm sure we'll talk about that stunt. He still is dealing medically like with problems with his body that resulted from that specific stunt.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have done it.
But Joseph, it looks so cool.
Yeah, you know what? The amount of enjoyment he brought to the world with that stunt.
Yeah.
It's probably worth it. Damage to one body.
To him, it probably is because like he's just so dedicated. But anyway, I've been wanting to just talk about more martial arts films. I was on a big kick of them for a while, but because what we've both been talking about before the podcast, we kind of had a bit of a lull in work in like our field of work over like kind of the holidays
over like half the year.
Yeah. And now work is really starting to ramp up. So like we both, I know I've had less time to watch movies and do anything.
Yeah.
So like I kind of put a halt on my new martial arts movie watching, but there is a movie I really want to talk about at some point. Have you ever heard of the movie The Street Fighter?
No.
It's so fucking good. It's like
I might have actually.
It's super violent. I'm pretty sure it's like X-rated.
Yeah.
With how violent it is.
Cool.
And it's just about this like
That's a new one.
It's Sonny Chiba, who's like another. I want to explore more of him too, because Sonny Chiba is another name in the universe of like kind of the 70s, 80s martial arts kind of movie boom. Stars in this movie and he's like basically a mercenary for hire.
Yeah.
Just will do anything. He's not a good guy at all.
Good.
Like he does really awful.
The best martial arts movies. Stars just a monster.
Yeah. And he's basically hired to rescue this young woman who's if I remember correctly, she's just like she's like the heiress, or like she's like the heiress to this like big company, and like her grandfather just died.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I think the Wolverine might be based off the Street. I might have to go back and look at it.
Maybe they based this on the comic that the Wolverine is based on.
Maybe they have very similar plots. Now I just realized this now.
Interesting.
But the point is like the Sonny Chiba's performance and just like his face, he's like a demon throughout that movie. But no, it's just really, I really want to talk about it one day. It's just, but the thing about it is that, have you seen True Romance?
No,
With
not yet.
Christian Slater. So there's a scene in the. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it because it's a spoiler for True Romance. Just
Okay.
we got to watch it.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Anyway, but back to Jackie Chan. What has your experience with Jackie Chan been
It was extremely limited.
for you?
My main exposure to Jackie Chan was that one Tim and Eric joke where they walk up to people on the streets and they ask them to celebrate 100 years of Jackie Chan. That was it. But these movies, I think, were my first Jackie Chan movies.
Like real Jackie Chan experiences?
Absolutely.
Interesting. You didn't watch the Rush Hour movies growing up?
Oh, you know what? I watched Rush Hour as an adult. I don't think he does anything like that nuts, and
No, because those are American those are American productions.
they have rules here.
they got rules about what you can and can't do. Plus, action wise, in my opinion, the first one is the peak for what Jackie's able to do.
Interesting.
In that one.
I mean, but these movies are a completely different breed from like even like the Bruce Lee movies that we've seen. Like they're not even kung fu movies. They're like they honestly try to be like everything.
They are. I think I've seen in interviews where like with this era in like especially Police Story 1, he's hearkening back to like what's his Buster Keaton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlie Chaplin, like 30s like silent film actors.
There's like comedy scenes. There's like I was talking about it while we were watching. Is like there are comedy scenes, there are drama scenes, there are action scenes, and these scenes do not mix.
No,
these are separate entities.
Yeah,
they all serve the story, but you don't have like jokes in a drama scene, and you don't have like any, like they're separate things, ingredients that go into this like stew of a movie.
Absolutely, it's like it's like a meal where like everything's on its own plate.
Yes,
pretty much.
It's the tapas of Hong Kong action.
You enjoy everything super separately. Yeah, it definitely that's. I feel like with the other Jackie Chan movies I've watched, it's kind of also like a common thing. Like it's comedy, action, drama.
Yeah,
in that sense.
And they're all good. I mean, the comedy is, I think, the weakest element. there are some really funny bits. Is it the first one with the phones?
The first one is the phones. That's a great fucking
that scene stresses me out so bad. So the person who's in charge of the phones leaves, and just leaves him in charge of all the phones in a police station, and everyone else is gone for some reason. I can't remember why.
Yeah, Jackie Chan. They call him Kak. I don't want to pronounce Kakui. In the English dub, his character's name is Kevin.
So Sergeant Kevin.
So Sergeant Kevin.
He's left in charge of all these phones, and they're all going off at the same time, and he's answering all of them. And he's talking to his girlfriend and like victims of crimes, and he's like confusing which ones he's talking to, and then he's holding the phones on his feet, and like kicking things and stuff at the same time. And there's like phone cords and he's hanging them up on the wrong receivers. It's all like you could tell it's very difficult to choreograph.
Yeah, but that scene's a great one, especially because Jack like. That one's all Jackie as far as
he's a one-man scene.
Yeah, he's delivering like I feel like a lot of that could almost be like a play or something, or like a scene from like the Jackie Chan play.
Yeah, I mean, like, good luck getting that pencil shot in a play, though.
Oh yeah, no, like everything. That's an old cup of tea.
Yeah, he kicks a pencil that's like half on a desk, and he catches it, and you can see in the credits that he had to do that like 30 times,
a bunch of times. You have all of the scene in Spider-Man 1.
Where he's catching all the stuff on the tray.
Yeah,
I think that took like 200 something shot or takes.
Yeah. I would, in my head, it would be crazy if somebody like made a mistake during like the success, like in the background, an extra was like doing something stupid or something.
And that's like the one where he caught them all, but like one guy like slips and falls or something.
Yeah, and that's the day that Sam Raimi
looks at the camera.
That's the way that Sam Raimi's a murderer. That's
the day that Tobey Maguire's a murderer.
Yeah,
the whole crew wanted to kill him the whole time they were working on those movies.
Facts. So that's crazy. So as far as the story in Police Story 1, which I guess we'll talk about Police Story 1 first. Like we can just walk. I feel like this is basically going to be we're going to walk through all the cool scenes.
Yeah.
So
it just kind of strings a lot of really cool scenes together. The story, at least of the first one, for me was like the weakest element
Mhm.
of the
For
whole
sure.
movie. Yeah.
It is. There's like it is kind of like a lazy. It's really basic. It's
a framework to hang these ideas on.
yeah. So basically, the way Police Story 1 opens is we kind of are intercut with like there are these drug dealers that are showing up at like a slum,
Yeah.
like a hillside slum,
Like a
kind of
favela
deal.
almost.
Yeah, very. I immediately thought of Slumdog Millionaire. But Hillside Favela, and they're there to like do a big drug deal, I believe, or an arms deal, some kind of. They're doing crime, and
Doing crime in there.
it's intercut with this scene of the police chief giving a rundown to all these cops about like what they basically were. The drug dealers are there. We're there. There's the head. Here's a picture of the head drug dealer.
Yeah.
And we got to get him.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan is amongst.
Everyone's got their snub nose revolvers.
Yep. And there's like a bit of a shootout scene in this slum.
Yeah.
Which it's funny. It really is the only scene with guns.
It is.
And-
And they use them.
Yeah, they use them to great effect. There's a bit of a shootout. It's exciting, but it definitely doesn't hit the heights of like the stunt work that is to come. Even in this scene, especially.
It's still pretty. Yeah, in this scene. Yeah, I was about to say like that scene gets pretty wild.
Yeah. And
The shooting is the weakest part, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and it really pops off when the drug dealers are trying to escape, and both of the roads to get into this slum are cut off. So they decide to drive through
Yeah.
all the shacks and
All the poor people houses.
in slums.
There's people running away. It's like going in slow motion, just plowing through all these little all these little houses.
Shacks. Beautiful wide shots
Oh,
of
yeah.
all of it too. It's so
There's people in the same shot as this car,
jumping out of the
getting out of the way.
explosions.
It's
and,
amazing.
and I was telling you at the beginning. Actually, I'm gonna bring up the clip.
I think we were watching it and I was going like, holy shit,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, so Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, you were
direct-
saying that there's a worse version of this scene.
Yes, it is the exact same. I'm gonna bring it up actually on the iPad.
I'm not a Michael Bay fan. I'm ready to hate this.
Yeah. And it's car chase, I guess it might be under. And it's literally just the exact same setup. Like they're in a favela. It's a worse version of this scene.
Ready.
This has the wrong. But yeah, no, it's just it's filmed so well, and there's like so many just so many stunt people who are
It's
running
wide
away from
angles,
it.
dude. It's wide shots of the action happening. It's not close up, shaky cam, like spinning. And I don't like the way Michael Bay films. I don't like his visual taste.
Crashing through Cuba.
I don't like how sweaty and shiny everybody is. I don't like how saturated the
yellow.
colors. I don't like how the camera just is constantly moving.
And constantly at a Dutch angle.
Yes. Oh my God, it's exhausting. And I just they feel like his movies taste like heartburn to me.
If people want to check out the clip that we're about to look through in this audio medium, Bad Boys 2, 2003, crashing through Cuba scene.
On a one-horse open sleigh.
From movie clips on YouTube. But yeah, so you can just see here Joseph. So
Okay,
it's,
there's Will Smith.
Yep. So see, there's a
It is literally like the same set. Where they're in Cuba,
yeah, they're in Cuba in this scene.
but you could mistake
Yeah,
this easily.
the
for the same exact setting.
Yeah, it is like literally the same setup.
Yeah,
But
here they go. We're in the car.
We're in
The
the
car's
cars.
going past.
The
we're
Hummers
in
are
the
going
car.
we're in the car. The
We're
car's
looking
shaking.
at Will Smith. Oh my God! Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, no, this is just not.
Okay,
nearly as good.
We went through one building.
We went through one building.
It exploded inexplicably.
and we're just doing a million cuts to these soldiers shooting.
We don't want to show the car actually driving.
No,
We're showing everything but that, pretty much.
pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There's one,
That-
but
But like, yeah, if you compare this to a movie that came out like 15, 20 years before.
yeah. Also, another thing with this too is that any of like the wide shots aren't even like that far away.
No.
There's no one like jumping on, which obviously it's super dangerous. And I'm
But
sure,
I mean, like,
but like there's
it's acting like them driving this car through a single one of these is like a big stunt. Oh, there's a wide shot.
yeah.
Oh, but there's too many explosions.
It's not nearly as good as for me. It's the fact that like in Police Story, I was gonna say the original, but
Yeah.
in Police
The
Story,
original.
in Police, oh, well, I guess those, but they're so far away.
No, it does
Like,
suck compared to.
There's stuntmen all over these shacks in Police Story 1 jumping away from these cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so
Yeah.
a little
Another L for Michael Bay. Come at me, Bayhamers or whatever you call yourselves.
Come at me, bro. Yeah, no, but yeah. So that's and then that evolves into the drug dealers steal a bus.
Okay.
And Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that bus scene is wild.
Yeah, especially once Jackie Chan is hanging from the side of it. So Jackie Chan chases down this fucking bus on foot, and he has an umbrella.
He does a wild stunt that no one in their right mind would do.
But it looks so cool.
He hangs from an umbrella hook that looks broken in most shots, by the way.
Yeah.
It's clearly it's a harness, obviously. But
yeah,
like it's
he's definitely probably like wearing a harness. That's
but
well
it's
hidden.
but he's hanging off of a bus that's like speeding around corners, so he's like flinging out and like slamming against it again, and it's terrifying to watch.
Yeah, no, like he's fully swinging. He's like there are cars that are driving by the bus, and he's like hopping on the cars with his feet.
He's
and
insane. He like there's a lot of shots like that in both of these movies where it's like, oh, if he didn't do that stunt right, he would have like lost the lower half of his body.
100%. He's a professional. I mean, he was doing stunt work. Like I said, he was a stuntman on actually, fun story. He was a stuntman for a lot of Bruce Lee's films. So on Fist of Fury. So remember the shot at the end where Bruce like kicks the main bad guy through the window onto the lawn or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was like a 20-foot launch or whatever, and they were trying to get a stuntman to do that stunt, to be like shot through the window.
Yeah.
Everybody said no. Except for Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan was insane enough to get rich off of it.
Yeah, no, and he like
hurling his body through things.
he got like seriously injured, and I've seen an interview where he's telling stories. And what was nice,
And he was like, "It's the best decision I ever made."
and apparently, Bruce Lee ran up. He's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And like Bruce Lee helped him up. Which in my head, I'm like, "Wow, what a meeting of the Titans right there."
Absolutely.
Yeah,
See
no.
like lightning flash between them as they shook hands. Yeah.
Oh man, if Bruce Lee hadn't,
Man,
if he
a collab.
a
I don't know if like a buddy comedy with those.
you don't think it would have worked?
I don't know. I think you'd have two bright spots. I don't like it'd be difficult to like divide the scenes between them, you know?
So we didn't watch. You and I only watched 2 Bruce Lee movies, which there are really only 4 technically. But The Way of the Dragon has a lot of comedic elements, and it is like a funny. And even then, like Bruce has some funny moments in Fist of Fury. I mean, definitely not to the level of Jackie.
I guess they could really complement each other well, because like Jackie's more of like a physical comedy stunt guy, and Bruce Lee's more like a craft, like martial arts guy.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see them, like, if they had lived long enough, come together. Plus, Jackie has done serious movies as well.
You know what? I'm coming around. I wish this movie would have happened. I want like Bruce Lee's like a hardcore stone cold badass, and Jackie Chan's like his
goofy ass,
his ridiculous sidekick guy. Like also is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that'd be pretty sad. Bruce Lee is the straight man badass.
Movies that should have existed.
Yeah,
there's a lot of those, honestly.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, one could even argue, like I so mention this now, I don't think that Jackie's career would have been as huge if Bruce Lee had lived.
You don't think so?
Well, because I think that Bruce was just so on the rise, and he would have created this whole. I think that he would have created, like, he would have done more American movies, and he would have taken like martial arts films and like this kind of like Asian cinema in his own direction.
Yeah,
that I think would be a space that Jackie wouldn't have as much room to occupy, because he was a big part of like bringing like mainstream attention, like martial arts movies.
Yeah, and there's only so much of that, especially back then.
Yeah,
of like attention be like in the West given to foreign movies like that.
Yeah, because really, Rush Hour was the people. Jackie Chan was like a little bit known in like martial arts film community or whatever, but after Rush Hour, mainstream people were like, "Oh, who's this Jackie Chan guy?" And people started to go back and watch like Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah,
and like Jackie's earlier movies,
good shit.
Or like, why am I not? I can't think of it. Maybe probably Police Story, but like, or Super Cop was another one that he tried to get big in. Which technically, Super Cop was released in China as Police Story 3.
Whoa!
But in America, it was released as Super Cop, and like it's its own That movie's also actually really good. It's like one of Michelle Yeoh's early roles.
Oh, okay.
And she's kind of like she plays this like police chief who like she runs like an undercover unit or whatever, and like
It's such an 80s Hollywood title for a movie.
Super Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a pitch like in a title.
Yeah. Super Cop is also really good. I have it on DVD.
Sick.
But anyway, we're gonna do more Jackie episodes in the future, so
Yeah,
that'll
we can we can
Yeah.
talk more Jackie Chan whenever.
yeah. We can always come back. I would love to actually do an episode on The Foreigner, which is like his
Okay.
Jackie Chan's Taken
Hell yeah.
kind of vibe, like super because I haven't seen it, but like I've always really wanted to, so we can do an episode.
Hell yeah.
But
Bus scene.
bus scene, yeah. So and then Jackie like holds up the butt, like he's like standing there with a gun pointed at the bus.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, he pulls up in front of the bus like before it even turns the corner.
Yeah.
And he just stands there and points a gun at it.
And it stops like a foot from him.
Yeah, and like you could see one of the bloopers, it almost like pinned him to that car behind
Yeah,
him. Like
he-
it almost killed him.
Yeah, he jumped up at like the right time.
It's insane.
There was a lot of that.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying the things this man will do to himself.
Indeed. So then next what happens is he kind of gets reprimanded by his
12-year-old
his
captain.
super young police chief, which we're not going to do with the names. John Coe, crime lord, Chu Tao. Was Chu Tao
No.
whoever, not the main crime guy, but the crime guy below, especially in Police Story 2. I love the performance of like the like secondhand man of the main crime boss.
Yeah, they're almost like a Laurel and Hardy thing.
Yeah, really goofy, a lot of
They
fun.
kind of get more comedy stuff to do in the second movie.
Yeah, two is definitely heavier in like the story and comedy for sure.
Yeah.
It leans back on the action, and I feel like that was probably an attempt of like Jackie probably wanted to like kind of get more into the serious realm, I guess, or be more respected as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Type deal. But we can talk about that when we get to Police Story 2. So he gets a little bit reprimanded by his super young chief.
Yeah.
And then what happens? And then he gets assigned to
An informant or something.
so-
Honestly,
that was all good. I remember the story. It's funny. You know what's been funny with these martial arts films? I'll watch them once,
yeah.
appreciate the fights, and not really get the story.
Yeah.
But then when I go back a second time, because I'm more familiar, because like I know what to expect with the fights, I can actually pay attention to the story
Yeah,
more.
I think that's my problem. Is I was way more into like what the crazy shit that they pulled off.
Yeah, just like waiting for the next fight scene.
Yeah.
So there's this woman who was the secretary for the big bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, I believe she's the only one who like didn't make bail or whatever. The police, I believe she's like basically being coerced, or she's being brought up as a witness to testify against main big bad. So they put her under protection, and like Jackie Chan is like her main police guard guy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of creepy about it, which his character,
he's a bad guy.
yeah, this character,
He's just kind of a scumbag.
yeah, he's a shithead. He like basically follows her to like her apartment.
Yeah,
And-
and he's like, "Let me in," and she's like, "No, you can wait outside." And he's like, "No, but let me in." And he's like waiting outside of her windows and shit. She's like sees him outside of her window, and it's all creepy and weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see like an intruder break
Yeah.
into her home wearing a mask.
And he's like really bad at trying to kill her.
Yeah,
And
he's obviously really awful at it. And then his mask falls off, and he's like trying to cover his face. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is he trying to cover his face if he's trying to kill her?
yeah. And it gets revealed that this man is actually one of the cops.
It was all part of the plan.
And this is basically trying to get her to be. They're trying to like make her afraid.
This is something the cops would do, though. To be fair,
Yeah, no, for real. Not in as goofy a manner, but for sure,
it would be less played for laughs.
this is some real cop shit. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't hit for me. A lot of like, yeah, I agree. A lot of this is actually not the worst These movies are not the worst offender of like the really outdated humor that doesn't work. There are some, I forget what the name of it was. There are some, especially with like sexism, that goes like really, really, really too far.
Oh boy!
In other Jackie Chan movies.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Another Jackie Chan movie?
Yeah,
huh?
no, in other Jackie movies that like really don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this scene, for comedy wise, didn't work for me. I don't.
No,
think.
it's not very funny. But the stunt choreography is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's like, he knocks his buddy out and he tries to like make it look like
Weekend
he's
at
still
Bernie's.
fighting him. Yeah, so he's like Weekend at Bernie's him around. It's pretty good.
Yeah, overall, and like a lot of it is just Jackie Chan has he's such a good face actor.
Oh yeah.
Like all of his reactions, like you can
He's got a face for movies.
100%. Like we were saying in the opening shootout, his reactions, he's just reacting 10 times more.
Yes, absolutely.
Than every other cop actor there. But then they start going to. I believe this is when they start going to Jackie's place, and there's like a little fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty cool little fight scene where with some cars where like some criminals show up and try to like kidnap her back, but Jackie beats up all the criminals.
Okay.
You don't remember that scene?
Wait.
It's like the two cars try to smash into him, and he jumps up in between.
Yeah.
And then he throws a dude.
See, I
through
remember
the
the stunts.
Yeah, yeah. And he throws.
Honestly, these movies are honestly just Jackie Chan's demo reel.
Pretty much. This first one especially.
Yeah.
We get a little fight scene, and then we end up back at Jackie Chan's apartment where his girlfriend May,
his girlfriend, who should leave him immediately,
100%,
she is not valued by him at all.
is there with their friends for like a surprise party, and he brings home the witness, who she's wearing his jacket as well, I think, and like it's
super sus. She's like wearing like a nightgown.
Yeah.
And by the way, he gets home and it's like a surprise birthday party and everyone's standing there and she's holding the cake.
Yeah.
How late is it? Like
that's true.
Were they expecting him home tonight?
At like a certain time, or they just
he was
waiting
assigned
there?
to this woman. How long were they waiting?
I remember telling you, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's not important.
It's like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, his girlfriend's there, and she obviously gets upset, and he's just like, "What a stupid fucking idiot." It's typical her. She's always doing this.
Just like always. Yeah, no, yeah. When he's complaining about her in the shower, and then
bad guy.
She comes back in to try to forgive him, but he just like keeps talking shit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah, the witness, he's showering, and the witness is like trying to get him to like say things about her.
Oh, and we see some Jackie Chan ass.
Yeah, we see some Jackie Chan.
Assy Chan.
Assy Chan. Jackass Chan.
That's his porn name.
But yeah, he's like, he's still like just talking shit and just being mean. I don't know what she was expecting. He's just a bad guy. She should just leave him, but she doesn't, because she has no self-worth.
Yeah. Yeah. That scene happens and he's a dick.
Yep.
Trying to remember.
Yeah. What's the next step to this?
There's another major action scene that I'm having trouble remembering. Like between because the end mall scene is like a big
Okay.
action. There's one more like set piece in this movie that I can't fucking remember. Oh yeah, Jackie goes to like some big boardroom meeting or whatever, and like there's like a little bit of a chase in this building.
Yeah.
In like a court, and he throws the witness off the roof into a pool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And she's like, I will die if you throw me.
Yeah.
And he throws her.
And he throws her.
She doesn't die.
It's a great scene, although you can clearly tell that it's not her. It's like a man in a dress.
Yeah. Well, dear God, it's like 5 stories.
Oh no, literally off of a hotel building into a pool.
It's an insane thing to do.
It's fucking nuts.
Someone would die if they actually did that.
100%. Oh wait, no. You know what I thought was a funny scene though that I just remember. Remember the courtroom scene where he's recording the witness the whole time that she's at his apartment.
Yeah.
And she does the shit to like.
Yeah.
She's like.
She's incriminating him,
pretending to flirt with him or whatever, making it seem like they're fucking. And then
it doesn't make a lot of sense at the moment, but it pays off later in a pretty big way.
Yeah, in the courtroom scene where Jackie's like, "This is all the evidence you need," and he plays the tape.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's like banging her. Yeah.
It sounds like they're fucking over the tape, and then May is also in the back of the room, and I thought that
and she stays with him after that too. By the way,
I thought that was a pretty funny scene.
No, that was well earned because it was set up like 5 scenes before.
Yeah, no, it was a good gag.
Honestly, all the courtroom stuff was pretty good.
Yeah, no, pretty funny.
Had the defense attorney just doing like insane mental gymnastics that for some reason just win the court over.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes through like this crazy like thing with like the bus schedule, and like you could have seen other buses, and like
Yeah.
He tried to bribe you, but it's like, well, he thought you were robbing him.
Yeah, no, it was big lawyer energy.
Yeah, that guy was really funny, and for some reason everyone's wearing wigs because I guess that's how they did it in Hong Kong back then.
I suppose.
British imperialism.
Yeah, it's
They all say "I object" in English, and they say "bye bye."
oh yeah, whenever they say bye bye, it is.
It is. It's good. Bye bye. I love you. Bye.
It always catches you off guard when you hear something in English.
Bye-bye.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but fucking, I guess the mall scene is. I'm just looking at the plot on Wikipedia. I guess the mall scene is the only real other big. There's like a lot of like little.
Yeah.
Minis.
I think we've covered like the most like
Yeah.
impressive shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little stunt, like kind of.
Like I remember the action sequences, and I remember the phone scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the phone scene happens at that point. And it's great. We talked about the phone scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the mall at the end is
The
like
mall is the reason you showed up.
yeah, pretty much.
You talked about there's so much broken glass in this scene,
Mm-hmm.
and you said something about the glass.
So like typically they use like rice glass or sugar glass as like the glass for movies. It's like easily breakable, and it's still dangerous, mind you.
Yes.
Like you can still cut yourself
you can
on
get sliced up with that stuff.
Yeah, but not nearly as bad as regular glass.
Oh yeah.
Which will come
And
back.
you can actually break through this without like hurting yourself.
Which will come back later in Police Story 2. Is that other thing. Yeah, Jackie specifically ordered rice glass, or I think it's sugar glass. He ordered the fake glass twice as thick as
And
is like standard.
it looks thick.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Like
That's something I noticed watching it without you even telling me. I was like, that looks pretty thick.
yeah, people are being thrown through like glass
Jackie is being thrown through glass.
like
Glass
fixtures,
furniture, shelves,
windows. Just like,
There's a lot of glass in this mall.
yeah, like everything. That
It's on the cover of the Blu-ray is the broken glass. It's like a motif on the main menu.
It's a great fucking scene.
The glass is a whole theme.
There's an amazing stunt during this whole mall sequence, or there's a lot of them, but there's one in particular that sticks out to me when Jackie's like gets on a motorcycle in the mall,
Yeah.
and a bad guy is on the front of the motorcycle, and he drives the motorcycle through like a bunch of jewelry cases, like fucking 13 jewelry cases.
It's like that guy died like 10, that guy died 5 jewelry cases in. All right.
People are falling on the escalators and shit,
Yeah,
like,
no.
onto their backs. I think
It is a crazy scene.
I think it is crazy. Some of the falls that people take in these movies are fucking insane.
They look so painful. In both of these movies, every time someone like falls to the ground, it doesn't look like there was like any padding. It just looks like they just fell and like hurt themselves
Yeah, it looks like
the movie.
Looks like they just fucking died.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It's like they at least like concuss themselves. And then this is the scene where Jackie does his big stunt.
his giant stunt, which I bet there's this, basically like the bad guys are at the bottom of the mall, and this is like it's like 5 stories.
It's a long way down.
It's a very tall building, and there's a big pole of lights like that goes from the
There's
top.
a lot of string lights around it.
Yeah, and apparently that wasn't like, this was not necessarily like a something that they were planning on doing from the beginning. It's just when they were scouting the location. What's up?
No, they found this like on location.
They found it on location, and they're like, we need a big stunt to end this whole thing. So they decided to do that, and it was all...
And they're like, fuck it.
Fuck it, let's do it. Jackie was like, fuck it, let's do it. And they only did it...
And he destroyed his body.
He destroyed his body. He slides down.
But they show it 5 times
show
in
it
a
a bunch of
row in the
times.
movie.
They shot it.
And also at the end of the credits.
They shot it from a bunch of different angles. I wonder if an interview with Chan discusses the stunt of sliding the pole with lights as the clock tower shut. As with the clock tower, Chan described his fear at the thought of performing the stunt. During the filming of Police Story, there was added pressure of strict time constraints as the shopping mall had to be cleaned up and ready for business the following morning. Holy shit!
Are you serious?
I didn't know that.
That's fucking insane. They ripped that place apart.
They destroyed it.
He destroys his body with it. You can see it in the credits, like after the fact. After he does this stunt, he's like he's like on a stretcher and they're like doing like medical shit to him. They're like carrying him out on a gurney. But you see him in this during the stunt. I don't know if it's a different guy for effect, but you could see someone running away from like the bottom of the pole after he lands.
And he's like, he lands and then he jumps up and is like,
but he like had broken ribs.
Tackling the bad guy. Well, he didn't know that he was like that fucked up from the jump. Like he was on his way to go to film another movie like right after this scene, and he passed out.
Crazy man, dude. He you can see him slide down, and there's like all these string lights and like actual light bulbs that like smash against him and burst and explode, and he apparently got really burned up by it. And no, it's a crazy stunt. And you know, they get their money's worth. They show it like 6-7 times.
Yeah, no, they shot it from a bunch of different angles. Yeah. I'm reading here. One of Chan's stuntmen gave him a hug and a Buddhist prayer paper, which he put in his trousers before finally performing the stunt. Yeah,
well, it didn't work.
I mean, he survived,
I guess.
But yeah, Jackie Chan is still dealing with like medical issues from this particular stunt today.
I wonder if he regrets it.
I kind of doubt it, just in terms of like how committed he is to
that. I mean, that stunt probably got him quite a bit of money.
Yeah, like the cool thing about these like just Asian cinema and like these martial arts films, yes, the safety and the safety being a huge concern, and also just like how ethical is it to put these people through into all this danger.
Yeah, especially considering how underpaid everybody was and how desperate for work they all were. Yeah,
it is just so impressive to see what these people can do with their bodies. You know,
it's like the limit of what you can do, and not it's not like cinema of the extreme, but it's stuntman's idea of like an extreme stunt.
I was watching what was it one of the podcasts I listened to, they were talking about how they made the claim that martial arts movies are the purest form of cinema and like action movies in general, because it is a format. Martial arts films are pretty much like live action martial arts films are something that you can only do in cinema.
Yeah,
like it's in a video game, like it's animation, it's a whole different thing. And like
this is something that you need to be real, like actually know how to do it. Yeah,
and that's the purpose. And that's the purpose.
You can be trained to like use a gun or like move like you're in the military or something. But.
You could not make Police Story the book.
No,
you could not make Fist of Fury the book.
That would suck.
You could definitely make Fist of Fury the video game, which is basically Sifu.
It's Sifu.
But no, and I think that's just something that is really interesting and cool. And a lot of these movies too, nothing I like about it is that most of them are short. Mm-hmm. Like this movie is like really quick and concise. Like it doesn't waste your time. If something
it gets in and out. It's the best kind of action movie.
If there's a scene that doesn't work, like comedy or otherwise, like it's not long enough to like for you to be super annoyed by it.
Yeah,
because the next scene is probably going to have something that's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's the fun. It's like a variety show. These movies, like it's like, oh well, if you want a funny scene, that's one coming up.
And that's pretty much Police Story 1.
That's Police Story.
I'm gonna
check it out.
I'm gonna ask you this question now before
we
move on to Police Story 2.
Think real quick.
What? Or we can also save it to the end. Think about what prop you want from Police Story 1.
I'll pick one. I got one. I want the cactus.
The cactus is a good one.
It's his prized possession.
Doesn't she go like, "Oh no, it's so big"?
Yeah. She sits on it. Yeah.
Fuck. I want the umbrella.
Oh yeah, the broken umbrella.
The broken umbrella from the opening.
Hell yeah, good pick.
That'd be cool. Yeah. So Police Story 2, how long? What is the time gap between this one and Police Story? So Police Story 1 came out in 1985. Police Story 2 came out in 1988. Mm-hmm. Also marketed as Police Story Part 2 and Jackie Chan's Police Story Part 2.
That's true, though. It is his movie.
Continues the storyline of Chan's character, Kevin.
Kevin
Kakwe.
And Kevin Chan.
It is literally a direct sequel.
It is. It picks up right... Because honestly, this movie just ends and you have no resolution. You have no idea what happens. Like the first movie, and the second movie kind of ends the same way. It's just like... the action scene happens. You have no idea how anything has shaken out, and it just credits roll.
That is pretty much how all these fucking movies end. It's like once the big stunt happens, it's like go home.
It's like everyone leave the theater now.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So basically, the movie, if I remember, it opens up.
The color grading has changed.
Oh yeah, no, it's
It's so much more saturated and vivid.
yeah. You can see that it got a bigger budget because
Yeah,
the first one
it
was
looks so much nicer.
a success. Everything is just more premium.
Yeah,
The camera work is more dynamic
Yeah.
than the first one. Although we talked about this, I think we're both on the same page as far as like the stunt work is not nearly as it's not that it's not as good. There isn't as much of it,
yeah.
and it's not as like extreme.
This movie's more story focused than the first one,
Yeah, it's more story focused. It's a little more serious.
which is a weakness.
Yeah, it's a weakness, but the one area that I do think it improved is that Jackie's like acting performance. I think is like a lot better in this one.
Yeah. No, I think he's more confident acting, which is saying something because he's popping on screen in the first one.
Yeah, like he definitely like probably you know in both these movies he's being the director and he's being like he's the main star, which involves being involved in all these crazy stunts and stuff. So it's like a lot on his shoulders,
Yeah. And he's doing like all these jobs. Meanwhile, he's getting ready to slide down a pole 5 stories and destroy his chest.
Yeah. Calcium. She wants
being cute.
She wants to be on the mic.
Yeah. She's got stuff to say.
I'm gonna post a picture of Blossom along with this episode announcement.
Blossom says.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, so I'm trying to think what happens after that. So he
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? With Police Story 2.
Yeah, no, it's
Kind of eclipsed by the first one a little bit.
yeah, he gets demoted. I'm just reading the thing. He gets demoted. What's the first fight scene? So the main bad guy from the first movie gets out of jail like fast, which he gets out of jail on compassionate release because he has cancer.
Okay.
But no, like he tells him like, oh, the doctors like they give me 3 months to live or whatever.
Yeah.
And in that scene, I'm reading it as like, oh, he like paid off some doctors.
He probably faked it. Yeah.
But then later, Jackie finds him and he's actually sick, and I'm like, oh shit.
He's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're actually sick.
I thought you were lying.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a boy cried wolf
A
situation.
little bit of a Junior Soprano.
Yeah. And then the first like major fight scene in this movie is the restaurant fight scene because the bad guys start coming after May.
Yeah.
His girlfriend starts threatening her and her aunt.
She plays a larger part in this movie than the
Yeah.
last one.
She does a more role. I do like her character, and I feel she's probably the only character in these movies
I
that
feel so bad.
yeah,
I feel so bad for her.
because Jackie Chan's such a shitty boyfriend.
She needs to get some self-worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100% sure. And I love the scene. Great scene when she shows up at the police station to fucking call him out in his bullshit.
Yeah.
And she walks into the locker room, and there's a bit
just naked dudes.
naked dude showering. Which man, how awkward. Just like there's no like sheets between the showers or
Yep.
anything.
They're all
It's
just there. It's like Starship Troopers minus all the chicks.
Indeed. We definitely got to do a Starship Troopers episode. For
Oh
sure.
hell yeah!
Especially-
Starship Troopers and RoboCop.
Especially with all this Helldivers craziness. Yeah, but no. So after the bad guys threaten May and her aunt,
Yeah.
they there's a fight scene in a restaurant, and it's a pretty good fight scene. It's there's a lot of like items being thrown and like people being thrown through shit.
Yeah.
One of my favorite hits is probably like Jackie opens up a drawer and like throws a bad guy in the drawer, and then he like throws another bad guy on top of that bad guy and breaks through the drawer.
There's a lot of really good stuff. It's like I said, it's very it's placed to his strengths, but it's not quite. I don't know. It's not quite as memorable as the first one.
Yeah, I think
they had more bold ideas for stunts in the first one.
the first one, the stunts were like a lot bigger. I feel too. Like it
A lot
just
more vivid ideas.
yeah. Like I feel like the first one had less fights, more and like I was saying with this movie, this one I feel like this was Jackie trying to make a more traditional martial arts kind of affair.
Or so, do you think he was trying to market more to the West with this one than was with the first one?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
As far as like there's more drama in it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and the colors are brighter. And
Yeah, because the first one was a big success in China, but it wasn't huge. Like really, Rumble in the Bronx was the first like quote unquote hit in the U.S. That like a movie that did pretty well.
yeah.
But then Rush Hour blew everything up for him. Like Rush Hour was
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
Big mainstream success.
Yeah, which I didn't say earlier, but like Rush Hour was my primary intro to Jackie. Like I watched those movies all the time growing up. Also, do you remember the Jackie Chan Adventures cartoon?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my fucking shit.
There's also a really interesting PS1 game where you play as like a little chibi Jackie Chan.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's got a little look that up.
what's it called? Jackie? What's it called?
It's got his name in. It's a PS1 game. I think it's got his name in the title.
It's probably a Jackie Chan Adventure.
His character model in that game is so cute.
Jackie Chan
Stunt Master. Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. I want to play it really bad
Yeah.
because honestly, it looks pretty fun. But like all the characters are like these stout little guys.
I love the cover.
Yeah, he was motion captured for it and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. No, we definitely in our future Jackie Chan
yeah.
episodes.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder
Yeah.
how much it is on eBay.
This does look sick. The lighting doesn't look bad.
No, it doesn't look bad for a PS1 game.
Yeah. Damn, we gotta check it out. His character
Stunt
is really
Master.
cute and blocky. Yeah. No. So with so there's that scene, and then pretty soon after that we get what I think is the best like action scene in this movie, which is the playground fight.
Oh yeah.
Like him and May are being chased through this like park area, and there's a playground, and like there's like fucking 20 bad guys all fighting. It is the standout like, fight scene from this movie. It's
yeah,
like,
it reminded me of the Mr. Smith fight in Matrix 3 with like the million of them.
all the bad guys.
That's
are
how it
dressed,
feels. There's just like there's just a lot of guys.
they're
It's
all
a,
dressed the same,
It's a great kind of fight scene.
and they're all flipping throughout like this playground, going down the slides, and Jackie's like jumping over the shit. There's a part where they're on the what's it called? Like a bent round ladder.
The
thing.
monkey bars.
The monkey bars thing, and Jackie's like jumping through, and he like pulls a guy down by his leg.
Yeah, they literally they use every part of the playground.
Yeah,
Every funny thing you can do in a fight scene in a playground, they do it.
yeah, and then they get these like big metal poles out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I love. There's a great shot moment where like Jackie's like hitting a dude with the poles, and he's like it's so hard to explain. Like he's like flipping upside down, hitting the guy, flipping
It's
under.
insane.
And he's going. It's so fast. That's
no,
the thing
that's.
with it too.
I think that you said that they shoot it at like 22.
Yeah, so underclocking is a pretty common thing in these movies, which learned this on Corridor Crew. They'll shoot the scene at 22 frames per second.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And they'll shoot the scene at 22 frames per second. And, or is it longer? They'll shoot at a different frame rate, and then they'll play it back at 24, and it just seems a little bit faster.
Hell yeah.
Without seeming...
And you can see that a lot of times when like characters are running.
Yeah.
It just makes it look more frenetic. Like it makes scenes, especially in like martial arts movies, just look that much more movie, you know.
Yeah, I love how Jackie Chan runs.
Yeah,
in
no, he's
both
got a
these movies.
great run.
Like he's like a cartoon. He's fast.
He's got his
like,
arms out to the sides.
His head's moving
Yeah.
constantly.
He's got a great. He keeps his torso and neck tense, but he moves his arms and legs, so
Yeah.
he looks like a puppet almost.
It's so good. He always, even when he's running towards someone, he looks like he's running away from someone. But yeah, the pull, and then at the last bit of the pull, he falls on the ground with the pole. He eats a back, and then in the last
ding,
bit,
ding, 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 yeah.
ding, 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 he throws it at another dude and knocks him down as like the last
That's so
part of that.
cool.
And it's like once you think it's over, no, there's like one more hit. And I feel like it happened in this movie too. It's something that Jackie's talked a lot about, like an editing technique he uses with punches and kicks, is that there will be like a big punch and kick.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of hard to notice actually, unless like when you're watching it, but I remember there was a couple of them in this fight scene. He'll do a punch, and you'll see from a wide shot this punch happen, right? and then they'll zoom in close and they'll show the punch again.
Yeah.
And that's something where, like, I've seen interviews with Jackie talk about how in American style fight scenes with punches, they cut it together as continuity, like where you see Liam Neeson going for the punch and then they cut close to the impact.
Liam Neeson's a good example of American editing.
Yeah. No, Taken is
make sure you show in the TikTok video the him jumping over the fence.
Yeah. That scene, yeah. Oh yeah, there was, I think it was in this one where Jackie just like casually jumps over like a 20-foot
yeah,
thing,
oh my god.
like nothing.
He does a really good fence jump in the first movie, and then the second movie he felt the need to like one up himself and did a fence that was like twice as high with like barbed wire or something.
And he just does it so easily. He's not tired at all.
And he just walks away all casual. Meanwhile, here's Liam Neeson.
Yeah. in 30 shots.
Yeah. Cut.
Jumping over this fence.
Anyway, the way they edit American stuff is like...
Yeah, no, and the punch for continuity, and they'll do the close-up and show the punch. And according to Jackie, like, that takes out the power. And even though, with the way he does it, where he'll show the punch in the wide, and then he'll show the punch again.
I like that.
He's like, your brain makes it one big punch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same philosophy as, like, you know, showing that big stunt at the end of the first movie twice is like, you know, it doesn't matter that you're literally seeing the same thing.
Show it a million times. It's the best parts of the movie.
You're just increasing the impact of it. You know?
You're getting more bang for your buck doing that. I like it.
Exactly. It's really cool. Like he's such a smart filmmaker too.
He is. Yeah.
But yeah, and,
born for the industry.
Yeah. And then after that, there's a lot of
just fucking around.
There's a lot of fucking around. There isn't another fight, like another action scene for a while. There's a pretty crazy scene where him and May are going on vacation. That's why she shows up at the police station. That's only later. But they're going to where are they going? Are they going to Italy? They're going on vacation to some another country. I forget exactly what country.
Mm-hmm.
And
my god, yeah.
And they're literally on the plane.
Oh, I forgot about this.
And he gets called off the plane because the police chief is like trying to convince him to like not like leave or like you still have work to do. And he's off this plane for a while.
She doesn't have her passport.
They don't
have cell phones. She doesn't know where to reach him.
Yep.
So now she's just going to another country and is just gonna be there. She doesn't know if he's like on a plane coming after her.
Yeah, no, like he doesn't follow up with her. Doesn't make any attempt.
Nope. He kind of forgets about her until she comes back.
I forgot about her because the movie like
it's honestly like the funniest running joke is how awful this woman's life is.
Yeah, how awful of a boyfriend Jackie Chan is.
How much Jackie Chan just screws her over all the time.
100%. But yeah, no, in between that, before she comes back, we get introduced to the Hot People Squad. There's like an undercover Hot People cop squad.
They play a really big part in this.
The 21 Jump Street gang. And they do some like undercover stuff with the bad guys, these like hot young men and women. There's a crazy interrogation scene with these like three stereotypically attractive young cop women. Yeah, who they literally fucking abuse this man. They beat the shit out of him and then they like hold him at gunpoint. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's
a police story.
It's some cop shit. Appropriate title.
This is a police story.
Indeed, it is. But fucking. Yeah, no, and then there's I forgot about the deaf guy. Remember the deaf guy who they find like in the abandoned building, and he's got the little remote control cars.
Yeah,
and he makes like monkey noises.
Yeah, none of the audio was recorded on set. Mm-hmm. And his noises are so clearly ADR.
Yeah, it's really weird. And he's like treated like an animal too. By,
he is.
These like other criminals, but basically
interesting little window into the thought process.
Yeah, but that guy is a great fighter though. When he does get, because when he first pops off, he's just all kicks.
Yeah, no, that guy's great. Yeah,
Bruce Lee said he's like super fast and just all kicks,
destroys him. Yeah,
and you got a pretty good fight scene at the end with him and Jackie, and then the last. That's another thing too. So the final like action set piece in this movie is just in some fucking warehouse.
Yeah, no, it's it's honestly like compared to the first one, it's kind of forgettable.
Yeah, the mall was such a good location.
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that scene. Just the glass alone,
just all the glass, all like the neon lights. It's like a really pretty environment.
Yeah,
you can imagine it's
an 80s mall.
Yeah, you can imagine like all the crazy shit that can happen, because that's what's. My mentality going into Jackie Chan movies now is like whenever there's like a big environment with a lot of shit, I'm like, oh, what's he gonna throw? What's he gonna do?
All right, someone's gonna go through that. Someone's gonna knock that down.
That's gonna be thrown. That's gonna be this. Like he's got chairs that he can throw. The worst place for Jackie Chan to fight is like in an empty, like in a field.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything cool to do. Like he's not gonna like throw a stump at somebody.
If he doesn't have an object to throw or to jump through, he's
just gonna get his ass kicked.
Yeah, I feel like him versus Bruce Lee. That's the determining factor. It's like the shark versus the lion.
Yeah,
it's
Bruce Lee would put his fist through his chest.
Yeah, like are they in the water?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Are you surrounded by miscellaneous comedy objects?
Yeah, so fucking good.
Yeah, final fight in a warehouse.
Yeah, there's some good fights, but none of it in particular is sticking out in my brain. Oh wait, there is a crazy stunt. I forget when it happens in the movie, but it actually doesn't look that insane compared to most. So basically, Jackie is jumping from on top of a bus through like a glass pane into a building, and
it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, but the thing about that is that it's this big, like there are multiple panes of glass along this like big thing.
Yeah,
and so
he jumped through the wrong one. Didn't he?
He jumped through the wrong one, so he
fucked himself up.
If I remember correctly, he jumped through the second one, and apparently the first panel of glass was the one that was sugar glass.
It's like how much pain do you just accept that you're gonna go through to make this movie?
Mm-hmm. And they show you in the after. I don't want to call it the blooper, like the credits,
the BTS reel,
the behind the scenes reel, and the credit. You see how fucked up he got from that particular stuff.
Yeah, he's on the ground. He's like got people like crowded around him. It's like this is just one of the things you have to consider before you make these movies is how injured you're gonna be.
Yeah, even a lot of other performers it seems got hurt.
Jackass
during this production. Like the actress that played May, she was getting like a lot of medical treatment in the behind the scenes too. Maggie Chung.
Oh yeah, she got really hurt. Yeah, you can see like her head's like bleeding or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she probably gets thrown. I don't remember what the exact stunt was, but she probably gets thrown through something.
These movies are danger zones. Stay far away if they're shooting them.
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, the scene does end. Yeah, this movie ends with the warehouse blowing up.
Yeah.
And then
big explosion. Really cool. Really impressive explosion.
Yeah, really.
A lot of money went into that explosion.
Indeed, that was there. Well, that was probably the equivalent of like in the first movie we had the pole.
It's like a 16:9 explosion too. Like it's perfect for the screen.
Yeah, it fills everything.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think overall, this movie just isn't as fun as the first one.
No.
Like it's, yeah. Police Story 2, probably like a more competent film. Objectively, it might be like better,
bigger budget,
but it's just not as fun as the first one.
Watch the first one. This one's fine. It's fun enough. It's Jackie Chan, so it's like above average.
Yeah, I feel like the first movie is good as an overall experience. This one, you could probably just watch like Police Story fight scenes on Police Story 2 fight scenes on YouTube.
Yeah, you'd be good.
Yeah, but the Criterion box set sells this as they only sell it as a 2-pack.
Yeah,
Police Story 1 and 2.
It's worth it.
Definitely,
it's worth it.
The next
double feature.
Yeah, the next movie in this franchise is Super Cop. Releases Police Story 3 in China, and then after that, it's Jackie Chan's First Strike.
Interesting.
Which was Police Story 4, technically. That one
then
sucks.
It should be called Fourth Strike.
Should have been. That movie sucks.
They drew First Strike.
There's one good fight scene where Jackie Chan beats up his main object of his weapon is a ladder.
Okay.
Which if we ever watch that movie, I'm just gonna say.
I think I've seen that scene.
Yeah, no, he's wearing like a yellow. Actually, it is like an homage to Bruce Lee because he's wearing this like yellow like
sick.
ski suit. But yeah, no. What prop do you want from Police Story 2?
I want the pole.
You want the pole?
Yeah, the pole he hit all those people with.
That's a pretty good one. I'm trying to think what. What's some more particular? It's kind of a big
pole.
It's kind of a big prop, but I could have taken it from Police Story 1 or 2. I want May's bike, her like scooter.
Oh, it's a cool bike. Yeah,
It's a cool little scooter moped bike.
yeah.
It's pretty sick.
That's a good pick. You
Um,
pick the more expensive one.
yeah, it's a pretty big prop. But yeah, no, like overall, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's like a lot more. In the early Jackie Chan box set, it might be interesting to watch some of the older ones because I have the Emergence of a Superstar box set, which has some of his like older, like 70s movies where he's not directing at all, and
Yeah.
some of those get like really weird.
Okay,
Let me show you.
I'm
So
down for weird.
there's this movie in there called Spiritual Kung Fu, which
Spiritual kung fu.
the first movie in the box set is called A Half Loaf of Kung Fu.
Okay.
But I need to show you these ghosts. Like the whole concept in Spiritual Kung Fu is that it's like in the olden, Jackie Chan is a student at this kung fu school,
Okay.
and there are ghosts haunting the school. He basically
It's like a horror movie.
he basically convinces the ghost to teach him kung fu because each of the ghosts,
Hell yeah.
which they're
What are they gonna use it for?
they're like alien ghosts. Once you see them, you'll know what I'm
They're
talking
like
about.
alien ghosts.
I'm showing you the
They're like ancient spirits kind of deal.
yeah, like interdimensional spirits. Which I'm gonna show you pictures, and you're gonna know exactly
Okay.
what the vibe is.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what they look
They're
like.
teal.
Yeah, they look like
What?
Dr. Seuss's thing.
They're from a different mythology than we are accustomed to.
Yeah, no, 100%. The inspiration is they're like
very strange looking.
for people who are listening, because it's a listening medium.
Audio medium.
And they represent they're wearing these big red wigs
I like
and
their skirts.
they got like white hula skirts and they're wearing white tights. Oh, and on top of each of their heads, they represent the different styles of kung fu. So like that one has a snake on its head, and that one has like a tiger on its head.
Now that's spiritual.
Yeah, no, and it's really goofy. And there's young Jackie showing off his guns.
There he is in his tank top.
Yep, that's another thing that we didn't touch on. Like, I feel like in a lot of movies, they want to sell him as the everyman, so they kind of put him in these like baggy clothes.
Yeah, but he's shredded.
He's yoked.
He's
dude.
like Rambo 2 shredded.
Yeah. Which I mean, you gotta be when you're doing all the shit that he's doing, like all the jumping and climbing. But every once in a while, like he takes his clothes off, and you're like, God damn!
It's like Jesus Christ, and then he puts on another baggy shirt, long sleeve baggy shirt.
Yeah. It is interesting how like just such a different. It's so crazy how like opposite of a mentality like he's presenting to like versus Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Because Bruce Lee's whole thing is like
look at my physical perfection in every way.
Exactly. And like the whole mentality is that he's such a he's this unstoppable force.
Yeah.
You know, and like Jackie's
force of nature. Jackie's just like a blue collar guy that's gets really lucky.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, and it's almost, I feel like in a lot of Jackie's fight scenes, you feel like he's like one bad punch away from losing.
I think he's just got like, he's put all his points into luck.
Exactly. 100%.
So, and he can count on it too, so he acts like it.
And Bruce put all of his points into strength.
Yeah. Strength and agility.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Charisma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what would be the next Jackie movie we should watch. There's quite a few items. There's one called Wheels on. I'm not saying this wrong. It's called Wheels on Meals.
Okay.
It's more of
it's about running over food in the car.
It's like something Jackie and Sammo Hung own a restaurant, and like some people steal shit from them or something.
Cool.
There's a lot. We also need to see Rumble in the Bronx. I actually have a 1 second on my letterbox. I'm bringing up my letterbox, which by the way, which I know that we have actual listeners now and people that just aren't just my friends.
Disgusting.
And if I know that you fucking nerds listening to this movie podcast have a letterbox.
You have a letterbox. I've seen it.
If you want to follow me, am I just LC Hines on Letterboxd?
Sure are.
Yep, I'm just LC Hines Hines on Letterboxd.
I should probably make one too.
If you want to follow me,
I
it's
ain't got one.
it's fun.
Too hipster.
Courtney and I just saw Love Lies Bleeding
Nice.
on Saturday, and it was fucking incredible.
Hell yeah.
1 second, but I'm trying to find. I have a list of martial arts movies I want to watch that I need to take some off. Excuse me. I think and there's some Jackie Chan movies. Project A is another famous one. That's like a pirate movie.
Hell yeah.
It's like a naval type deal. I saw Kung Fu Hustle. I didn't take that off. Oh, I also saw Police Story. I didn't log it. What the fuck?
No.
Oh yeah, I did. It's supposed to automatically come off the list. Yeah, but Police Story 3, Super Cop. And there's Michelle Yeoh.
Super Cop is a subtitle.
Yeah. But yeah, that about anything else you want to say about Jackie Chan before you wrap up?
Really, Jackie's my Chan.
Cool.
It's weird to have sunlight coming in this room as we're recording.
Yeah. We got the lamp in the other room and I don't have the lights plugged in. I'm plugging the lights.
It's very strange to have daylight. Have the sun still up.
That is true. The daylight savings, and it's 7:17.
Yeah, it's usually literally midnight when we're recording.
7:17. Okay. Well, when we come back, it's probably going to be around that time
It's pretty late.
Because we're about to watch David Lynch's Dune, which is going to be really weird. I am releasing the Dune episode first before this one.
Sick.
Because Dune is still very much in the zeitgeist.
Viewers, tell us, is it good?
Yeah, we're gonna do. You would have heard it. You would have seen it because it would come out last week from when this is coming out.
Is it a good app? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you liked it. Yeah, this has been Midnight Movie Gang. I'm LC.
Bye. It's me, Joseph. Bye. Love
Bye.
you.
So, here we go. With child expectations and complexes which the police are searching for James Thomas, believed to be the lover of Dave Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Grant everybody that I'm here to hold on. Oh, please tell me where this is going. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How long is it? How could I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think? Special agent.